Has the world's most beloved K-pop group finally crossed an invisible line that no one thought they would dare to approach? Could this viral video, which has left millions of fans stunned and divided, be the undeniable proof that BTS is now prepared to turn their backs on the very culture and region that shaped their extraordinary rise? As speculation blazes across every social media platform and heated debates erupt in countless comment sections, one unavoidable question keeps echoing in the hearts of loyal ARMY everywhere. Did BTS just betray their roots for the bright lights and colossal profits of the American entertainment empire? In the span of a single 47-second video clip shared casually to social media, BTS has triggered what some are calling the most controversial storm in the group's decade-long history. The footage, which appears at first glance to be nothing more than the members relaxing together, quickly takes a startling turn when one voice, still unidentified by name, blurts out that they will soon be working extensively in America. Almost instantly, the camera catches the flicker of surprise on several faces, a series of hesitant laughs, and then an abrupt attempt to change the subject. But the damage was already done. Within minutes of the clip going public, hashtags like #BTS abandoning Asia and #American sellouts began trending across Twitter, Instagram, and YouTube. Why did this moment ignite such intense outrage? Perhaps it is because for so many fans, BTS has always represented more than music. They have stood as a cultural force, a source of national pride, and an emblem of how Korean artistry could conquer the globe without ever surrendering its roots. Yet here, in plain sight, was the evidence. BTS discussing a major strategic pivot away from Asia, away from the region that nurtured their ambitions, toward a market notorious for swallowing foreign artists whole and erasing what makes them unique. Did they forget what their music means to millions across Seoul, Busan, Bangkok, and Jakarta? Or have they finally decided that the promise of North American superstardom is simply too lucrative to resist? Observers and industry insiders have noted that BTS has been laying the groundwork for this transition for years. Some point to the fact that the group's offices in Los Angeles have quietly expanded over the past 3 years, housing new teams dedicated solely to US media and marketing. Others recall the string of English-language singles, tracks that some supporters hailed as milestones in global outreach, but that others criticized as clear concessions to American tastes. Is this the natural evolution of a band that has always dreamed of transcending borders? Or is it the beginning of an irreversible cultural dilution? One longtime Korean fan, who asked to remain anonymous, confessed in a tearful live stream, "I feel betrayed. I never thought BTS would treat Asia as their second priority. They said so many times that they would never abandon their roots. Now, it feels like we were just a stepping stone." That sentiment, raw and wounded, has been echoed in thousands of viral posts accusing the group of chasing dollars at the cost of authenticity. And yet, in the same breath, countless others have rushed to defend them. Why shouldn't BTS grow? Why shouldn't they expand? Have they not earned the right to chase every opportunity on Earth after years of relentless sacrifice? But the more pressing question remains. Why did the group allow this sensitive information to slip so carelessly into the public eye? Was it truly an accident? Or was this a calculated soft launch of news they knew would provoke controversy, but eventually be accepted as inevitable? Those who watched the clip in its entirety insist there were deliberate hints sprinkled throughout. The way one member laughed nervously, the way another immediately lowered his gaze to the floor, the way the group's manager, just out of frame, seemed to cough at the exact moment the word America was uttered. Could this entire fiasco have been orchestrated as a publicity maneuver designed to test the waters and gauge the reaction before an official announcement? For years, BTS has been lauded as the pride of Korea, ambassadors of cultural power, and symbols of a generation unafraid to hold onto their identity in the face of global homogenization. But now, some argue that image has begun to crack under the weight of corporate ambition. Analysts in Seoul are already predicting that this move, if confirmed, could ignite a cultural backlash unlike anything the band has faced before. Will Korean fans continue to support a group perceived as prioritizing the American market, or will this become the moment when the unshakable bond between BTS and their home begins to unravel? It's impossible to ignore how this controversy touches a raw nerve far beyond music. In a world where Western markets often consume and then discard foreign talent, the symbolism of BTS shifting their creative center to America feels like the final conquest of Korean originality by American commercialism. Did BTS ever intend to inspire a generation to believe that their heritage was enough, only to abandon that very principle when the stakes got higher? Yet even as the backlash swells, others see this move as the natural progression of a group determined to change the world. They've always said their goal was to create a better world through music, one American fan tweeted, and that means reaching every audience possible. Maybe we should trust them. But can fans truly trust that BTS will protect their essence in a market infamous for erasing what it doesn't understand? Or are we witnessing the slow erasure of the very soul that made BTS a phenomenon in the first place? Behind the scenes, insiders report that the group has recently held closed-door meetings with several of America's most powerful music executives, including figures from Universal Music Group and Sony. Contracts worth hundreds of millions of dollars are rumored to be on the table, contracts that promise global tours, television specials, and marketing campaigns dwarfing anything BTS has undertaken before. If these deals are finalized, they could transform the group's trajectory permanently. But at what cost? Could this be the turning point where BTS finally ceases to be a Korean group with global ambitions and becomes an American group with Korean origins? If so, what does that mean for the future of K-pop as a movement? Will other groups follow this path, hoping to replicate BTS's success even if it means sacrificing their roots? Or will this backlash serve as a cautionary tale that no amount of international fame is worth the pain of alienating the very fans who stood by you from the beginning? The questions keep multiplying as the days pass and no official statement emerges. Why is big hit entertainment staying silent? Are they hoping the outrage will burn itself out? Is there a carefully crafted press release waiting to drop once the fury hits its peak? Every hour of silence only fuels more speculation. And with each unanswered question, the emotional stakes climb higher. Millions of ARMY members around the world are waiting for clarity, yet clarity remains elusive. In the end, only time will reveal whether this viral video was a harmless slip or the first undeniable proof that BTS has outgrown the region that raised them. But if the reaction so far is any indication, this single moment has already fractured the fandom in ways that may never fully heal. Will BTS ever be able to look their Asian fans in the eyes and promise, without hesitation, that Korea is still their home? Or has that promise already been broken the moment America became their primary stage? Stay tuned, because this story is only beginning. And as the world watches, one question remains impossible to silence. Did BTS betray their roots? Or are they simply evolving into something too big, too ambitious, and too unstoppable to fit inside any borders at all? But in the absence of official answers, speculation has become the fuel of 1,000 theories. Some fans have pored over every frame of the viral clip, analyzing facial expressions, gestures, and even the direction each member looked in those fleeting moments after the word "America" slipped out. Did one of them mouth the warning? Was that a glance toward the manager, or was it simply a nervous tick? In a fandom that has made decoding hidden meanings an art form, no detail is too small to dissect. And no theory is too outrageous to dismiss outright. Some believe this so-called accidental leak was orchestrated by Big Hit itself. According to this theory, the company is preparing the world for an unprecedented announcement. BTS is moving its primary recording operations to Los Angeles. If this is true, the clip was never a spontaneous moment, but a calculated first step in acclimating the fanbase to a future in which BTS belongs less to Korea and more to a global market that prizes profitability above culture. Would it really be so shocking? After all, companies in every industry have perfected the art of soft-launching controversial decisions by leaking information through seemingly unintentional channels. Yet what makes this moment more volatile than any past controversy is the emotional depth of BTS's bond with their Asian audience. This is not simply a group of performers who became famous overseas. They were, for millions, a living example that the world could finally appreciate Korean music without expecting it to conform to Western molds. Every acceptance speech delivered in Korean, every lyric infused with cultural nuance, every act of loyalty to their homeland reinforced that belief. What happens to that powerful symbolism when the group themselves begin prioritizing America as their creative headquarters, in Seoul's bustling shopping districts, where BTS merchandise once sold out within hours? Small business owners are already voicing concern. Several vendors who rely on BTS-themed products to make ends meet say the video has had an immediate impact. Customers have started asking if BTS is still a Korean group. One shop owner shared in an interview, her voice heavy with apprehension. They don't want to buy things if they feel the group has abandoned Korea. It's heartbreaking. The economic stakes are staggering. BTS has generated billions in revenue for the Korean economy, from tourism and retail to streaming and concert production. If even a fraction of their domestic fanbase turns away in protest, the ripple effects could be felt far beyond the walls of big hit entertainment. Would the group be willing to risk such damage to pursue a dream of American superstardom? Or have they already decided that the American market offers something so irresistible, so colossal, that no sacrifice is too great? For others, the deeper betrayal lies in the timing. After years of championing Korean pride and advocating for Asian representation on a global scale, this sudden shift toward the United States feels jarringly out of step with everything BTS claimed to stand for. Critics have accused the group of exploiting cultural authenticity as a marketing tactic only to discard it once the last barrier to international domination had been cleared. Is that accusation fair? Or is it merely the bitter reaction of fans who can't accept that success inevitably means change? It would be easier to dismiss this backlash as overreaction if it weren't so pervasive. In fan forums from Jakarta to Tokyo, passionate debates have erupted over whether BTS has crossed an uncrossable line. Some say it's hypocritical to expect the members to remain confined to one region forever when their mission has always been to inspire people everywhere. Others argue that there is a difference between sharing Korean culture with the world and transforming into a product carefully tailored to Western expectations. If BTS becomes indistinguishable from an American boy band, what happens to the sense of identity that once set them apart? Perhaps the most unsettling part of this entire saga is the growing sense that no one, not even the most dedicated fans, truly knows who BTS is anymore. Are they still the humble artists who once cried tears of gratitude on small stages in Seoul, promising never to forget where they came from? Or have they evolved into a global brand so vast and strategic that every word, every smile, every accidental revelation has been scripted in advance? One of the most widely shared posts on social media this week was a simple, anguished question. When did BTS stop being ours? That question, unspoken yet omnipresent, haunts every debate, every trending hashtag, every article dissecting the fallout of this clip. It is a question that cuts deeper than any rumor or accusation because it forces fans to confront an uncomfortable possibility that the intimacy and authenticity they felt with BTS may have always been an illusion, a carefully constructed narrative designed to sell records and sustain loyalty. At the same time, there is no denying the monumental achievements that have made BTS who they are. From the earliest days of their career, they faced ridicule, doubt, and systemic obstacles designed to keep them in the shadows. They clawed their way to the pinnacle of global recognition, not by compromising their artistry, but by amplifying it. Can anyone truly blame them for wanting to explore new frontiers after years of proving they belong on the biggest stages in the world?